All right. This is our first episode of Socks On or Off podcast. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Chris, for having us here. So, what Socks On or Off podcast is a podcast where I have guests on every week or every other week to talk about different topics relating to that person. So with you and Elijah today, we'll be talking about parenthood and how parenthood has changed you or how it has inspired you to be a better you. So the first question is, when you first found out you were pregnant, what were going through your mind and how did you handle it after you told me?
Honestly, I was secretly hoping it wasn't positive. But I was like, no, it's more than likely positive. But then I was like, okay, I can do this. I've been wanting a kid. It's a little early on schedule, but I've been wanting one since I was little. So I was actually excited about it.
Yeah, I remember that day. You were at your uncle's, and I came by, and the famous words of Akila Scott is, "You did this to me. You did this to me." But after that, I had time to reflect on it, and I knew it was going to be hard just for the simple fact of what previously happened in our relationship. So I knew it was going to be tough, but I knew we had something to fight for more than ourselves. So I understood that it would have been better for us to continue working on what we were working on. So, I mean, I knew it was going to be tough, like I said, but with you, I was happy just because I knew that we could have got through it. So when you found out, how long was it until you started telling other people? Because I know the first time I found out, I told some of the people I worked with. But for you, how long was it until you were comfortable telling people?
Well, besides you, I honestly told my best friend. Because if not, it was going to be Mom to be the first person I would immediately go tell. But it was one of my best friends I told. They weren't too excited about it, but I was ready to get it out.
Yeah, I don't think I've met a couple where his girl, her friends like him. So I definitely understood the controversy between your friends and I. But no, I mean, it was a shock. So I'm glad that you were able to tell somebody else besides me.
Yeah.
Just because you got a different input on how others felt, or you got to see, like, I feel like people's true colors, because when we first started telling people, the reactions that we got was different than how I expected it to be.
Right. Some people weren't too... We got the happy, excited congratulations, but not the big excitement, people crying and all that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like most of our relationship journey has been like that, like not like your stereotypical relationship. You know, I felt clicked really quickly. You know, you started living with me or staying the night with me damn near a month or so after we started dating.
Yeah.
So I've been with you for 2.5 years now, damn near every day, 24/7. So for all the people who was doubting, I've done something correct. So now in this day of age, raising a child is hard because now you have a lot of political correctness. You have a lot of people with opinions. So raising a son, especially a black son, how do you try to give him values when he gets older, or teach him how to be the best person he could be?
Pretty much, I'm going to just do everything I can to be there for him. I know I didn't get to do a lot of things I wanted to, so I want him to be able to do whatever he can, sports, just want to go sing, whatever he can to make him better, more educated, and ready and prepared for anything that comes at him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with me, especially the relationship that I had with my parents growing up, it was it was scary to say I have someone that I'm responsible for. So with Elijah, I tried to do, I would say, the most, try to have him raised this way strictly or be very stern on this. But since he's gotten older and I've gotten older, I've learned that having that type of mindset kind of, I feel like, crushes a relationship.
Yeah.
You just have to have patience because he's going to fail some way, somehow. And if you are on him so much, I feel like he would just resent the relationship towards us. And now, I mean, we start to see a little bit of his personality. But with that being said, if he does have a personality or something that you don't like, how would you try to...
You have an example?
Well, like, let's just say he likes, like, gangster rap, right? And there's, like, when he gets older, there's, like, a lot of killing, drugs, women, all this extra stuff. How can you support him in liking that music, but also teaching him that these values or the things that these people are saying are not what life is about?
Right. Well, on that, you would just have to, I would explain to him the different things he would see. If it's women, explain to them, this may be okay to watch, but don't just go sexualizing her and all that. Don't do some stuff to that.
Yeah, I mean, especially when I was growing up, when I was being introduced into gangster rap or whatever the genre was, I didn't have that type of influence or adult influence to be like, hey, this is not what life is. This is a select few people who just happen to get to where they at, and it's portraying this because this is what people think is the best. So it took me a long time, especially when we first got into a relationship, what I thought a relationship was, what I thought a woman was, or even what I thought sex was. It was more of what I've seen and not what I could learn. So it's great to hear that you will definitely install in him the values of how to be an actual man and how to treat women or whomever he comes in contact with. So, oh man, Elijah, you have anything to say, buddy? So I know now, since you are a mom and you had to take that absence from work, that a year or so, how did that affect you, like your mental status of being home with a child, having personal stuff in your life that you had to go through? How was that for you?
Of course, I enjoy being home with Elijah, but I do miss being out and talking to people and having friends, because I do feel that I'd say I lost a little bit of my education. Like math and stuff is difficult. Talking to people can be difficult because I've been gone for a while and I'm doing baby talk all the time. Mm-hmm. So it is hard to have just a normal conversation and not turn into me talking to a baby. Definitely thinking about work freaks me out a little bit, because then it's like now I have to go use those skills again. And it's been a while.
Yeah. And because I know that you developed postpartum, right? After you had Elijah, did that play a role in you losing more of your social skills just because of you're isolated with a child? Now you have this depression that you have to go through. Did that play a major role in just basically losing your identity instead of just... In
a way, because everyone just assumed I'm constantly tired or need this, need that. And it's like, no, I mean, I will let you know if I'm tired or something. You don't have to just assume because now I have a baby, I'm not able to still do the things I did before. So that would make it frustrating, and I would constantly be mad at people and didn't want to be mad at people. And it was kind of hard to figure out what to do to diffuse it if I just got mad at a simple question of someone just asking me if I'm okay, if I need anything. I would instantly get mad, and I didn't like that. That was difficult to do anything.
And for future women who will see this and will have children, if they develop postpartum, what can you give to them in order to help them through that journey? Because I know it's different with other people, but the main gist of postpartum is just the depression that comes with the hormone releases and all this fun stuff that women go through. So what advice would you give to them, you know, to seek help or to talk to someone, not be isolated? How would you tell someone?
Definitely don't be afraid to ask for help and stop trying to do it all, because you can't. I try to wake up and clean up the whole house, get everyone fed and clothed, while just pushing myself aside, knowing I needed to recover. Like, I needed to worry about me more than everyone else around me. So definitely would take some time and worry about yourself and recover. Definitely after having a baby, worry about yourself.
So with that year off, did you have anything for the future? Like, did you say, okay, eventually I'll go back to work, or eventually I'll go back to school? Or was it just so cluttered that it didn't feel like there was an end to just what you were going through?
I definitely wanted to give it 6 months to a year after having Elijah to go back to work, to give my body time and to bond with Elijah, and then to figure out what job I wanted to go back to, because I definitely didn't want to go back to the job I was currently at, but I hadn't really done anything else besides cooking, so that would be kind of hard to just go out and get any job.
Right.
So that was my game plan, to wait about 6 months to a year and get back out there. And if I didn't go back to work, then I definitely wanted to go back to school for nursing or something to figure out a job.
Right.
So I'm not just sitting at home doing nothing.
So do you plan, because I remember you saying a lot about, I want to go back for nursing, I want to go back for, you know, this or that. Would you still make that a priority, or have you put it aside? Like, would you wait till he is in school, or would you wait until, you know, he's a lot older to where you're not focused on him as much so you can do what you need to do? Because I know it'll be tough, especially me doing comedy and now podcasting. So what are you trying to do with your individual self?
Right now I did start work, so I'm trying to figure that out. I've put school to the side for a minute. It's still in the back of my head. I still think about it. I still get emails and stuff on colleges I've contacted, but for now school is going to wait. Doing work, which is difficult because I'm trying to get him off the boob. I'm giving that maybe 6 more months. Maybe 3.
3 more months?
Haven't decided yet.
Well, no, I would like them back. That's all I would know. That's all I know.
But I do want to go back to school, because I've always wanted to do a nurse too. Like, it was between being a nurse or taking care of kids. So if I can go back and get both those done, or go back and get the pastry degree that I wanted, definitely would go back and try to do that. If I can do all 3, I'll do all 3.
Okay. So knowing that, let's go back to the beginning. So knowing that you were going to be a mom, and knowing the struggles that you had growing up, was there fears on you repeating some of the actions that was put on you at a young age? Because I know that I struggled with, what if I was like this person and treated Elijah like that? Or what if I did something that this person did when I was growing up and it would affect Elijah?
I understand that. I don't really think that way. I take it more of, yeah, it might have been a bad situation, but like, what did I learn from that? What can I do different and give Elijah different from that so he won't repeat that, or I won't repeat that?
So did you catch yourself ever being like a role model that you had to Elijah at certain points? Because I noticed when he does something and I'm quick to get angry at him, or I snap at him, I realize that these characteristics are things that I've learned from the people that that raised me. And I got to understand that he's a baby, you know, especially even when he gets older. It's like you can't expect everything from everyone.
Right.
And that's how I'm trying to raise him. You know, every little bump or every little thing he has to learn, I'm going to have to take it slow. I'm going to have to realize that he's learning from me. So if I want him to be a good man, a good father in the future, a good husband, I have to be that now. So I find myself constantly, even if it's when y'all go to sleep, is how am I going to be better?
Sure.
How am I going to do better? Do I deserve to be in this position because I don't feel like I'm worthy of raising another individual? So did you ever feel like that? Like you wasn't good enough to be his mom or good enough to have this role?
There's been times, definitely when he was first born, I felt like I was letting him down and breastfeeding.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it was more of because he couldn't latch. My boob was too big for his mouth at the time.
Oh.
And that was, that's what the reason was. My boob was too big for his mouth to latch on.
Follow us on OnlyFans for the boobs.
So that was frustrating because I was really trying to get him to latch. I was trying to avoid formula for as long as I could. Mm-hmm. And didn't really have a reason. I just felt like it was better for him to have breast milk than formula.
Well, I mean, I feel like, again, it's just if a woman, I feel like, is capable of breastfeeding, because I know a lot are not. If a lot of women are capable of breastfeeding, I feel like they should, you know, because it's a bonding experience that you and your baby will have, you know. And that's what I find so fascinating about women is like the bond that a mother has with her child, especially like in nature or even humans. It's like it's different, you know. I don't think I can have that type of relationship because, you know, he was inside of you, he latched to you, like all this nourishment that you have given him is like one of a kind. So how did you feel knowing that he relied on you to be alive? You know, because for me, what I could do is, of course, keep you fed, keep the house up, but your job was to keep him alive. So how was that for you? How did you come to the realization that I need to be like on it? Because if not, he's not gonna.
Pretty much since day one, we found out he was going to be coming out in the world soon. Was make sure I can do everything I can for him. Mm-hmm. Definitely trying to make myself eat so that he has the nourishment, the food and stuff he needs from me. Because I cannot say that word. So that was hard to make sure I ate every day so he can get what he needed from my body. When there's times I'm just like, I don't want to eat, I don't want to function. But then I look at him, he'll smile. And I'm like, okay, mommy's going to get up into this for you. She's going to get you whatever you need. Yeah.
And for the people who really don't know us, you graduated high school from where?
Dove Science Academy.
Okay, so when you graduated from there, what did you do after that? Did you go straight to college or did you do something else?
I believe it was like a month or so, and I was trying to go to college, was in the middle of doing stuff for TCC, and then, I don't know, I think I saw a commercial or something, and I heard about Platt and their culinary and pastry program. I was like, I like baking. I could possibly do that, because TCC, I was just going to do my basics until I figured out what major I wanted.
Right.
And so I was doing both of those, and the lady at Platt, she was like, pretty much going to TCC to do your basics would waste your funds that you get from the state and whatnot, your free funds and whatnot. And she was like, you would waste that. It would be easier for you to just come here and do something that you love. And that's what I did. I came there, and it was like a month or two right after graduation that I was going to be starting college.
Okay, yeah. So once you went into Platt, that was, you said, 2 months after?
Roughly.
2 months after high school. And then you met a handsome man by the name of Julian Corey. How was that at first? Just seeing the handsome devil.
Well, it wasn't seeing. I heard your laugh, actually. No, actually, I take it back. It was first seeing you in my cooking class with Chef Brandon. You came in, I think, I don't know, it was something on some bones in me. I don't know what it was exactly. It looked good, and we were all interested. We wanted to try, but you just walked in like, yeah, okay, I don't know y'all. I'm just done with y'all. I'm the best, and it just went straight to chef.
So I was a dick?
A little bit. No one really liked you in my class because you didn't talk to us, and we just wanted to know what you had on your plate.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of them still like me, but anyway, so
they're lost.
So once you started to fall for my laugh, what happened? Did we start talking more? Because I remember the first time I talked to you, it was you and your friend. We were in the break room, and I asked you guys how, because we finally merged, our classes merged, and I asked you guys how did you like our class, and you flat out ignored me, and I'm pretty sure your friend answered. I'm like, damn, this girl don't like me at all. And then lo and behold, what happened in order for me to find out that you had it in for me?
Well, the first time you spoke to me, I did hear you, but I was previously mad. Someone else in your class had made a comment. Plus, the time I first met you in my class, it really wasn't that well. So I was like, I really don't want to talk to you right now. So yeah, didn't. Can you repeat your question again? I'm sorry. Totally spaced out.
No, it's. I want you to tell the people the bravery that you did
that
to get me to notice you.
Yeah, finally decided I wanted to talk to you outside of class. So my handy dandy note skills wrote out all my contact information, whether it was phone number, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever I could have. I gave you all of it.
And for the people, she didn't say email. Who the hell emails another person that they like them?
Someone who hasn't had a cell phone since like 7th grade. So
I don't know. I thought you were a cave woman because the amount of odd things that
I
you
didn't
had.
know what you had, so I was just like, I'm gonna cover it all just in case.
Like you had a Hotmail. Who has Hotmail? I don't even know what that is. So we started dating, what, 3 weeks after that?
I believe so.
3 weeks. How was I to you the first month, 2 months?
It was pretty good.
It was?
Yeah. We went out, hung out. You were definitely the first that had his own car and was independent.
Shout out to the Chrysler.
I miss it. So it was fun. I actually got to do dates without having to ask my mom for permission. There was times she was like, you don't have to ask me anymore. You can just go. I was like, oh yeah.
I remember it was really early in our relationship and I made you mad or I did something and I bought you some flowers from Dollar General and I sprayed my favorite perfume on them and your mom got mad that I showed up without asking.
Yeah.
What can you tell everybody what she said when you went back in the house?
Am I supposed to remember this?
I mean, I do.
Well, tell me then, because I don't.
Tell him next time, don't come to my house unannounced. I was like, lady, you live in an apartment. I could literally just be there, just to be there. But no, I mean, your mother was a good woman. I'm glad that she, I don't know, just was worried about you.
Yeah.
You know, boys have cooties and bring babies. So I know in our relationship that we didn't have the best of starts, middles in our story.
Ends, refresh,
all this fun stuff. So with couples now, I see that a lot of people are just breaking up and not fighting for a relationship. So during our hard times, how did you keep yourself from saying, this is it, this is the final straw? And how can other people take your advice and live happier, or live to where they're not just constantly seeing other people, they're growing with the same person?
Well, before Elijah, I knew things would be hard with you from certain things that I've learned from you. And I wanted you to be happier and to feel loved, even though you, not saying you weren't loved, but I wanted you to feel more than what it seemed like you were getting. So even though we had hard times, I knew there were going to be more. And I was okay with that because I wanted to work through them with you. I wanted to grow and mature more with you. I've also had conversations with married people, and they're like, you can't just give up and walk away when it gets hard. And I've also done that before in the past. When things get hard, I just up and leave.
Right.
And I didn't want to do that anymore. So I wanted to actually give that a try. And then once we did have Elijah, that was just another reason for me to try harder, because I didn't have both parents in my life around me. I knew them, could get to them if I needed to or wanted to, but it's like, it didn't get that. So I wanted to make sure Elijah had that no matter what. I wanted that. I love seeing us all together. Right,
of course, yeah. So when you say you wanted me to feel love, you wanted me to feel something I haven't felt before, did you did you knowingly or not put yourself on the back burner just to make sure I was okay? For example, did you put up with more just because you thought you needed to give more to me? Does that make sense? Like,
there were some things that I definitely have put up with that other people would have just gave up and walked off, or ripped your head off for and then walked off.
Yeah, so how do you know when you're faced with situations like that, how do you know when it's time to move on or it's time to start loving harder, to start fighting harder to keep what you have? And not saying keep what you have in the sense of keep all the negative stuff, keep like the love for the other person or just their good qualities. So how can you tell like young couples or even couples that are struggling?
Well, that also depends on how much they can tolerate from that other person. Because for me, there's been times that people are like, if it was me in your situation, I would walk away. I wouldn't be doing this. But I know certain things in your life has been hard for you, and I can't just walk away knowing the reason for it. That technically may not be your fault. I can't just walk away when it's not your fault.
So how close is the line of toxic or toxic and work in progress? We've
had some toxic points in our relationship, yes.
So how can you differentiate between that? Like if a couple, they argue or they can't get along, when does it become toxic, or when is it still, hey, I'm fighting for this? Go ahead.
Excuse me. Then you would need to go sit down with yourself and figure out between you and yourself what you're ready to continue tolerating and not, and then go talk to your other person. Because it's not going to work if you just talk to yourself. Yeah. You also got to go see the other person's side, how they're feeling and everything.
So the feeling has to be mutual, you said. Like, so both parties have to be like, hey, we're still working for this. Right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're going for? So I know there's been times where I felt like leaving, you felt like leaving. What kept you from that? Because, there's been some, like you said, there's been some toxic moments. So what kept you here?
Pretty much, I'm not at the point where he's done enough that I'm ready to go try something else with someone else or just by myself.
Gotcha.
I'm not at the point of just being done. I'm like, okay, I really like him. I want to continue trying at this. We are getting better at communicating and taking the time to understand what the other person is saying. It may take a minute because of past stuff of us just automatically getting angry. So now I'm actually trying. Like, I'm going to be quiet and listen, not interrupt, not just automatically get angry. Elijah Butt definitely helps on, hey, Mom, you're okay, calm down. Mm-hmm. Daddy didn't mean it.
Do you be hearing him say that?
His eyes tell me.
I feel like that's another form.
I see his face, and I see his face and your face, and it just looks the same. And it's like, Daddy didn't mean it.
Yeah,
just calm down.
So basically, once we found out, like, because we've been dating for 2.5 years, right? Mm-hmm. And you got pregnant fairly quickly. It was not like 6 months after we started dating, because
we were together for 9 months, 9 months to 10 months before Elijah Butt showed up, I believe.
Okay, yeah. So we
hadn't reached a year yet. Before.
Yeah, because he was born like November, December, January, 4 months after our year. So how was that? You know, being with me for only 9 months, and now we're expecting a child. What were you scared? Were you disappointed in yourself? You know, because I know earlier I asked how you found out, or how do you feel when you found out, but this one is, how did you feel knowing what we had going on? It was so early, just all that combined, you know. Does that make sense? Because sometimes my questioning is not really good.
Yeah, that I know.
Well, if you want, I can answer it.
Go for it.
So I was very disappointed in myself, because I knew what unprotected sex could do. Of course, I knew that I could have prevented it, but when when we would have sex and you didn't get pregnant, I'm like, oh shit, we could, like, we're dodging bullets, you know? So it became comfortable, or I feel like we became comfortable with the idea, because we fell into this false love of newly couples.
Right.
You know, so I felt disappointed. Not only that I let myself down in what I wanted to do, I feel like I let you down, because I don't feel like you had the chance to become your own person. Like I said, we only were dating for 2 months, and you started living with me, living, you know, under, I'm going to say my rules, but just under me, so to say. You never experienced what adulthood was. So with that, I just felt like I let you down, and I didn't feel like we, of course, were ready. I was always afraid of you leaving and me having to go through, I'm not going to say what my father went through, because that's their business, that's their history. But I didn't want to go through something similar to that. You know, only seeing him on the weekends, or not seeing him at all, having to pay child support when I'm doing the best that I can. Right. And I didn't want to fall in that stereotypical of parenting. Mm-hmm. So I was always afraid, and I tried my hardest to keep it from that. Mm-hmm. But again, I would always fall from being that high and mighty boyfriend to an asshole. And I just recently started to become more understanding and become more of the man that I should have been for you. So forget the last question. This question I feel like is better. So now that we are at where we are at, can you say that the grass is greener on the other side? Or is it green when you tend to the grass? Like, is it like a relationship? Is it better if you have children to make the person stay? Or is it better to build the foundation that you're already on.
I wouldn't say children necessarily makes it better, because it can definitely make it worse. It has made certain times worse. It can bring out ugly colors and stuff like that. Not necessarily greener. It's better, though, when we do take the patience and time to listen and not just react off actions.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that was tough, especially to people who were, I would say, passionate about what they got to say. Because I know with you, if you want me to hear it, you will
Get loud.
Exactly. and I don't know. I don't like arguing. I never liked it, but I guess I could say slick shit.
You can, and then we'll get quiet afterwards or try to walk away or say it and then cut me off. I'm like, and then that will make me loud. Because it's like, if I don't feel that my point's getting across, or you're like constantly interrupting me or not listening to what I say, then I will get loud so you can be quiet, and then I'll bring my tone down.
Gotcha.
So
but at that time,
you're listening.
Right. But at this point in time, or at that time when you get loud, I'm like, I don't even want to hear this anymore.
Right.
I am done with this.
But it's like, I tell you, just listen at the start. Like, if I'm coming at you nice and calm, then there's no reason for you to just automatically be upset with me.
Right. So with everything that we've been through, the main thing I felt like kept us together but almost drove us apart at the beginning was marijuana. Could you agree with that?
Yeah.
So at the beginning, could you tell everybody how I was towards that and what?
You was the most ugliest person I ever met towards that. And I've met some people. Like, it went from, okay, for me, I needed it for certain reasons to get past things.
Right.
And it was like, you didn't care. We didn't want an ear and out the other. I know you've had bad experiences with it, but I was trying to let you know, with me, you're not going to get that. And then if you personally didn't want to see it, because for me, I thought you just didn't want to see it, you didn't want to smell it, you didn't want to be around it. So I was like, okay, I'll let you know, hey, I'm still doing it. It's not going to be a secret. You know I'm still doing it. Right. But I'm not going to sit there and just have it in your face and make you uncomfortable.
How'd I react to that?
You didn't want that. You thought it was the biggest secret and all this. You was like, you're going to pick me or that. That's it. And I'm just like...
Right. And I when that was happening, I told people it wasn't an ultimatum, but it definitely was. It was definitely an ultimatum that I gave to you without understanding your side. And I feel like a lot of men in relationships do that. They put their feelings first, because I was very selfish in a lot of our relationship, especially who you hung around, who
pretty much I did anything with. Right,
who you were influenced by. Just because I was raised with the idea of how an individual is supposed to live their life. And again, just being selfish, not putting you in, put me in your shoes. So once I given you that ultimatum, what did you do?
It was a struggle, because I was like, this is something new that I've tried.
She's breastfeeding.
And it was helping, I was like, okay, well, I gave it a try. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this for us. It's something new, so I'm like, I'm going to try this for us. Nothing too big. It's not like I needed it every day, all day.
Right. But, okay. So you gave it up. The topic that you were using cannabis for, like, to help you, did that take over you? Like, did that depression, did that sadness just take you over? Or how did you deal with now not having that medicine to keep you from exploding or keep you from just having a meltdown?
it made it a little hard. I got more angry with people. Mm-hmm. Quicker and faster than normal. I didn't really get more sad or nothing because I did my best not think about it before or after, and that would help. Like, I had my moments I think about it and went through it. But other than that, I really didn't think about it or let me get upset or nothing. It just turned into anger.
Right. So we dealt with that, and a couple months after that, I end up going to South Dakota for a job. I was gonna leave first, right? When did you have the thought of, hey, I'm gonna, go to South Dakota with him? And what was your thought on doing so?
Well, at the time of us having that opportunity to go, I was thinking about going also. I was supposed to go with Veronica. Mm-hmm. Me and her was talking about going and getting an apartment together and all that stuff. So I necessarily wasn't thinking about us being there. I was just thinking about me and her getting our place. But then also you would be in the picture, but it was just mainly her, me and her. And as it got closer to that, I panicked myself out of not wanting to go do it.
Okay.
And just other stuff in life pretty much told me not to go. And then once you finally decided you were going and the motion of going and then finally leaving, I was like, this could possibly be something I want to do also, and I can actually go do it. And then there's someone there that I know I want to be with and won't just leave me there high and dry, so to say. But then you possibly could leave me high and dry.
Right. You never know. Anything can happen in South Dakota.
Plus, I wanted to be with you. It was miserable with you being gone.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I kind of wanted to do this podcast, and I was kind of excited that you were the first person on here because I wanted people to know who I was truly and who we were truly at the beginning, at the middle, and even now. So once you got to South Dakota, how was it, and how long did that fairy tale last until I fucked it up?
I'd say it was good when I first got there. It was awesome. It was beautiful. Didn't like the snow because I don't like snow and rain.
Right.
But it was nice. I had fun. I don't think it got bad till I started meeting other people, like everyone else that we worked with.
Okay.
Because then there was certain people that would remind us from the people we left here. So that was difficult.
So what, here we go. So what was it that started our trouble in paradise in South Dakota?
Alcohol.
Yeah, there was
alcohol.
A lot of alcohol involved. And it was actually brought on by me. Again, not putting myself in your shoes, not being, what is that word? Compassionate. I don't know, man. It's just, looking back, I don't understand who that person was. And with people who go through something like that, because that was almost our deciding factor on breaking up. So
I don't know, because pretty much that night I was.
It was really done. So we were.
If you hadn't came after me and tried to figure out where I was, and brought me back to our room, I was done that night.
Really?
I was really done that night. That was the last straw.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, I brought it upon myself. So just that is the only reason you stayed. I just made an effort to come find you because I didn't want nothing to do with you.
Pretty much.
Because of what you did. But it was also because what I pushed you to do.
Yeah.
So for people that are hearing this, it's more of, if you have a wife or a boyfriend or whomever you're with, if you get to a certain point of anger, a certain point of anger with your significant other, you have to, you can't blow up. You can't fight off of emotion, because emotion changes, just instantaneously. So with that being said, it's, I don't know, you have to have love, because without love, it's just not going to work. And I wish I would have given that to you instead of what I did. So after all that, and after we kind of not got past it, but it kind of went away, days later, weeks later, I decided to go back to Tulsa. How did you feel about doing that whole transition back to Tulsa? Because I know that you were liking it there.
I was freaking out the entire time. Like, I called my uncle and I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like, do I stay here and let him go back? Do I follow? Mm-hmm. What to do? I was making pros and cons lists and all that.
And lovely Stephen Scott, what was his advice, since he loves me so much? Yeah, I hope he sees this too.
Well, he was encouraging me to stay, but he also let me know the entire time if I was ever ready to come home, him and Glory was going to come get me. Yeah, they was going to hop in their cars and come get me if I was ready. That seems
like something they would do. Glory would speed all the way there.
So there was no denying if I was going to be able to get back or not. But
right. So what did you end up deciding to do?
It was hard. I pretty much just, at the end, said, forget it, I'm going to just go. Because it was like, I wanted to stay, but I didn't learn anything else besides one station I was there.
Right.
And barely got that understood, because then it's like restocking all that. I got yelled at to trying to learn stuff because the chef was behind. That's not my fault. Why am I getting yelled at? So It was just a whole lot of other factors. Just like, there's no good reason for you to stay besides experience. Because it's like everyone else was leaving. Like the friends that we had that I had actually made was like, we're leaving too. And so it was just going to be me pretty much.
Yeah.
And one other person I didn't really talk to.
You and the Jamaicans.
Yeah. Paige was still there, but I didn't really talk to her that much. So
shout out to her.
It was like, be here alone and face this by yourself, or go back home and do what you know. Yeah.
Well, I feel like it was, I believe everything happened for a reason. I feel like that situation happened for a reason, because what happened a week later, we found out we were having
Elijah Butt.
Yeah, we're having a baby. So it all works out. A couple of people were, wanting us to stay, whatever. But when it came to us, did you feel like just wherever I'm at, you wanted to be?
In a way, yeah. Wanted to be definitely where you are, because I was used to that.
Of course.
You were all I knew every day, so that was hard to think of. Oh, he's leaving, so now who am I going to get used to? Who am I going to be around? Plus, you were also taking the car, so I was going to get back and forth.
Right.
Was not walking that mountain.
So, with everything now, we have a son, and with everything that's going on now, with Black Lives Matter, with All Lives Matter, with Support the Blue, all this fun stuff that we have now, with us being a Black couple, how do you deal with that? Because I know it's tough. I know growing up, we didn't see a lot of Black couples. So how do you see us? How do you want other people to see us? Or do you even care at all?
I mean, I really haven't put too much thought about what I should care about other people seeing us. I definitely don't want them seeing us just angry or mad all the time, but like, I didn't put too much thought into it. I'm pretty much happy with us. I would like for us to improve so that people wouldn't just see us as strong, powerful people. We're about our money. We're getting our stuff done.
Right. Well, to me, because my mom's white, and for me, having a black fiance, I felt ecstatic, felt a lot of joy because I am now with someone who can understand me on a deeper level, and it was something that I wanted to explore because no one can feel your pain or what you're going through like the person who looks like you. If I get called a racial slur, you know what that's like. Or if I get judged for being a big black man, you know how that is being a black woman. So I was ecstatic by that, just knowing that we can break stereotypes and we can show people what true black love is. And now we add a child into that. How are you with him growing up in this world where certain people might not like him because of the way he looks?
Well, I don't think he's going to worry about that because I pretty much tell him every day he's amazing.
Right, he's amazing. Handsome. That's a handsome baby.
So, I think the track I'm going on, he's going to know he's handsome no matter what anyone says. Skin color and all.
And I don't know, because I've dealt with a little bit of racial tension growing up. When I was in high school, I didn't feel like it was a big deal because, of course, I was raised by white people, and I was like, how can white people be racist? And I was raised by white people. But after I got out of high school, I started to see the world that was actually there. And I started having a change of heart. Like, there are mean people, and you can't allow them to determine who you are. Because if you let them if you let them determine who you are, you will be just a nobody. You'll be empty. So with having Elijah, I was scared every day. I was scared. Just because you see what happens to even black children with the little boy who had the BB gun, or even Trayvon. I don't think Trayvon was that young, but still wasn't an adult. And how their lives was ended just because there was misunderstandings, there was hate involved, or there was just accidents. And every time I think about that, I get scared because I know that no matter how hard I try to protect him, I can't, and eventually he will have to be on his own. He'll have to be around these people who will intentionally hate him just because of the way he looks. And for the people who are having black children or even mixed children that look predominantly black, my advice to them is just teach them that not everyone is their friend.
Right.
Teach them that not everybody is who they portray to be, even if they are there to serve and protect.
Definitely.
They are not your friend. They get paid to do their job. They get paid to make sure whatever they need to be, that needs to happen, happens. And they get to go back to their family. And I have to realize that. And I got to a point to where it's like, how can I tell my son to stick up for himself if he's being bullied or if he has hardship, but to submit to someone who is there to protect him, or to be a coward, so to say, just so he can make it home safe? How do you train someone to even do that? as a parent, and I feel like that's something we're still trying to figure out. But if you have anything, because it's tough, and I just don't understand.
I mean, pretty much all you can do is teach him the correct way in that situation to keep himself alive, because that's what we got to do at this point. We kind of don't have any other way around it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, that's nice said. So, all right. So with everything, I want to hop back. This will probably be our last topic. Chris, how are we doing on time? Great. So I feel like our last topic would be going back to marijuana. When did I decide to start using marijuana for my depression and my anxiety? And how did you feel about all of that?
Was it a few months or so before Elijah was supposed to make his grand entrance to the world?
I think so.
With your little vape thing?
Yeah, my CBD vape that I had.
Pissed the hell off. Yes, honestly was mad about it because it's like you had made a comment pretty much similar to my comment of I was going to let you know about it, but hide it from you. You pretty much said that same comment. And I just wanted to rip your throat out, man, because it was like, how dare you say that same comment to me that you got upset with me and pretty much wanted me to pick which one.
Right.
I wanted to give you that, but like, I didn't want you to feel that pain I was going through because I knew you was trying to get it to help you, and I didn't want to stop you from helping your health.
Right. And so we decided to do the CBD. That worked for a little bit, right? And we decided to do THC. Mm-hmm. Once we finally got to actual marijuana, what was it for you?
I mean, it was both happy about it and upset about it. Mm-hmm. Mainly upset because I still had those upset feelings from you being upset with me about it. It was just like why couldn't we get to this point before? Like, why did I have to go through so much before we got here? Yeah.
And to answer your question, it was, even though we were in a relationship, I was still going through life by myself. Growing up, I was never told I was handsome, all this fun stuff that we do with our son. So growing up, I was always comfortable with being by myself. And even when I got with you, it was like, okay, I'm fucking with her, but
you were still doing you, but wanted me to be on your same level, which was kind of difficult.
Right. I wanted you to be like a shadow of mine, do everything that I do.
Right.
And which wasn't right. And I had to learn that you're an individual person. Like, you are Akilah Scott, So back then, I that's how I thought. But once I started to understand that this drug was a medicine, that's when I started realizing what you needed it for, what I should have been doing, more research on. So with that now, do you feel like it's help our relationship, help us stay calm? Because a lot of people are still on the fence about it. How are you towards it? What does it do for you? What does it do for our relationship?
I mean, it does give us a time to bond at the end of the day, to just relax and have our own moment and watch movies and just chill and laugh and have a good time. I love doing that every night or every other night with you. It's helped and not helped because it's given us arguments at times. Mm-hmm. And when we first started, now it's helped. Like, if we get mad and we can't figure out another way to diffuse it, then we'll go to that, and it's helped. Mm-hmm. I like that it's improved a little bit with our relationship and not causing a big wedge in us. Yeah, because when I was younger, I thought marijuana was just like cocaine or ecstasy or all the drugs that make you escape reality, give you hallucinations. And that's what I thought marijuana was.
And I was like, I was prideful. I was like, what the fuck? I don't need to escape reality. I could handle this. But the truth was I couldn't. And I feel like lying to myself made it easier for me to reject it because I felt like I could do it. But I couldn't. And the reason I felt that way for so long is when I was brought up in the church that I was, nobody there smoked weed. Like, I don't think, like, all of the,
your knowledge, right?
Yeah, all of the adults besides my family. Anyway, and I wanted to be like them because their family or their values is something that I wanted to imitate. And I feel like that is what made me a hypocrite. Not saying they were hypocrites. It's just the life that I wanted to live and the life that I was living wasn't the same. But when it came to marijuana or it came to drinking and all this other stuff, I shunned it because I felt like that is something that a good Christian does. It shuns bad shit like that. But as I got older and I started talking to people, I'm like, what the fuck was I living my life for them for? You know, like, it's a personal relationship with me and whomever I believe in. So I started to get to the point to where it's like, if I know I'm straight with God, I'm straight with myself. So I started smoking to help myself. I started, not drinking excessively, but, having a cocktail here or a shot here, just being myself, starting to be the person that I should have been years ago. And I feel like it's just helped me realize who I am, helped me realize what a true relationship is. So with all that in a nutshell, I love you. Thank you for everything. This has been a great experience with you. Hopefully we can do this again one time. And I don't know, it was great. So do you have anything else to say?
Love you also.
All right. Well, that's been our first episode of Socks On and Off podcast. Have a good day.